Got a nice clasp. Help strengthen and stretch out the back area. Props, you'll need your block and a strap or a jiu-jitsu belt. Finding a lying down position on our back. Lengthening the legs out, arms by the side, and resting the block on your belly. Shutting down through the eyes. Inhale, feel the rise of the belly. Feel the rise of the ribs. And the rise of the chest, doing a 3-part breath here. Exhale, drawing in the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Inhale, feeling the rise of the belly. Rise of the ribs, rise of the chest, exhale, drawing in the chest, drawing in the ribs, and drawing in the belly. Continuing with this 3-part breath at your own pace. Scanning the body, seeing if there's any areas of tension that are trying to hold on. And just seeing if we can breathe into those areas and ease it. Maybe we can adjust the body and ease it. Just finding relaxation and comfort. Breathing in. And breathing out. Removing the block from the belly, grabbing that strap, and starting to get equal length on both sides of the strap, putting it around the balls of your toes, and lengthening the leg up towards the sky. So left leg's lengthened up, right leg's lengthened down. Just chilling here. Breathing in, breathing out. I switched because of the angle, so the strap's on my right leg. Relaxing the throat, relaxing the shoulders. Seeing if that low back is equally pressing into the floor. In your case, your left hand would keep the strap, opening out the leg to the side. So holding the strap with one arm, the other arm can come out by the side for just balance. When we're here, doing your best to ground your opposite sit bone into the floor. You might feel that it wants to rise up. So just making it equal with the other as best as possible. Breathing in. Breathing out. Hand on the floor, grabs the strap, other hand comes on the ground for support. We draw the foot and the strap to the opposite angle, so we're coming into a twist. Maybe your gaze looks through center towards the ceiling, or maybe you look over the opposite shoulder for some more counter rotation. Relaxing into this stretch. Feeling the breath get deeper and deeper. Bringing your gaze back through center, engaging the core, and floating that foot back up. Bending at the knee, undoing your strap, soles of your feet on the floor, knees bent, and just give your knees a little shake. I'm just switching because of how close I am to the wall. So switching legs. So most likely you're doing your right leg now. Nice. Having that strap on the balls of your toes. Doing your best to straighten the knee as best as possible. Feeling that big toe push towards the ceiling. Nice and engaged. Arches lifted. Easing the throat. Easing the shoulders. Relaxing a little deeper. In your case, your right hand would grab the strap, other hand comes on the floor for support, and open the leg out to the right. We're not even going halfway down, just a little opening. Maybe you're at halfway, but just for now, just a little bit, maybe a foot away from midline. Connecting that low back to the floor. Might feel that right sit bone or left want to come off of the floor a little bit, so grounding it, getting it even with the other. Pushing through the big toe. Bringing the leg back through center, switching your grips, so switching arms, other hand comes out for base, and then pulling that leg over to the opposite side to the floor. Nice, big twist. Maybe gaze looks through center or over opposite shoulder. Staying with the breath here. Feeling the rise of the belly, then the chest, or add those ribs in. And then the lowering of the chest, the ribs, then the belly. If your gaze was over the opposite shoulder, bringing it back through center, drawing that foot back up to the sky, bending at the knee, undoing your strap, soles of the feet on the floor. Give your knees a nice little wiggle. Bring the knees into the chest for a hug. Roll to the right, and then press yourself up to a seated position. So we have different options. We can straighten the left leg here. Right foot goes over top of that left thigh to the outside, and we're bending so that we're stacking the right knee on top of the left in a half shoelace, maybe choosing to be here or bending that bottom leg into your full shoelace. Nice and tall with the spine. Hands circle up, left hand folds behind the back, right hand grabs that elbow and gently pulls it to the right, feeling a nice stretch down that tricep. Nice and tall with the spine. Continuing that 3-part breath. As much as you can remember it throughout practice, using it. Right hand comes down and around the back in the direction of the left. Maybe you can touch your fingers. Maybe there's space. Just seeing where you are. Keeping the spine, hinging at your hips, folding, coming into a sleeping shoelace. Releasing the bind, bringing the hands to the ground. Feeling the rise of the belly, expansion of the ribs, expansion of the chest. Feeling the chest draw in, ribs draw in, and then belly. Maybe you can feel that piriformis on the left side releasing. Maybe you feel that right hip opening. Just being where you need to be and observing what's getting brought up in your practice today. Bringing that upper body up. Leaning back, hands come behind you. Top leg comes off, bottom leg comes out. Give your knees a nice wiggle. And other side, so straightening at that right leg if you need to. Stacking left leg on top so that left knee is directly above your right. And maybe bending that right knee today, coming into your full shoelace. Being where you need to be. Don't push yourself too much that you're causing strain or a bad pain. Hands circle up, right hand pats yourself on the back, left hand grabs that elbow and gently pulls it to the left. Feel that nice opening and stretch down that right elbow into the armpit, that triceps opening. Maybe you can feel the side body working a little bit. Tall through the spine. Equally grounding through those sit bones. Left hand comes down and around the back in the direction of the right. Maybe you can bind. Always noticing the difference on the sides and what that brings up. Hinging at the hips, keeping this bind and folding forward. Slowly releasing the bind and bringing the hands to the ground. Getting that low back and the sit bones to pull back a little bit. Opening up the belly region. Maybe hollowing out a bit more space to make that fold a bit more accessible. Breathing in. Breathing out. Maybe you feel yourself relaxing a little deeper. If you were folded forward, making your way up, leaning back, uncrossing at the legs, giving your knees a nice wiggle, sweeping feet out to the side, rolling over onto your knees / shins, and hands. Hands are under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Push into the hands and knees, arching that back like a cat. Inhale, dip the belly, open that chest, open the throat. Exhale, arching that back. Inhale, dipping that belly. One more like this. Exhale into that cat. Inhale into that cow. Open that chest. Stick that butt back. Find a neutral spine. Right knee in direction of the right hand. Right ankle in direction of the left wrist. Lengthening that left foot back. Pulling the core in, engaging the abs. Floating your hands off of the floor towards the sky. Nice stretch here. Breathing in. breathing out. Hands find the mat. Maybe you want to lengthen that leg, your left leg, a little more back as we start to fall and come to our sleeping position. Back leg should be nice and centered with the floor. Our hips are even. We're not splaying out to one side more than the other. Chest even with the ground. It's easy to bring our gaze looking towards the foot. So keeping it a little ahead, feeling that length and opening in your throat. Maybe you stack hands on top of one another, stacking your head on the back of your hand. Maybe you feel that left hip opening as your right glute is working. You're releasing that area. Maybe you have a tight sciatic nerve, right? Maybe that nerve is feeling release, ease. Just observing what you notice and what that's bringing up today. Pressing into the floor with the hands and slowly making your upper body come up. Walking that left foot in, bringing that right foot out and finding that table. Other side. Left knee in direction of left wrist, left ankle in direction of right. Walking that right foot back. Feeling strong. Don't walk it too far back yet. We want to draw in the core and feel the lift of the hands off of the mat. Keeping that right hip slightly forward so we have neutral hips. Hands circle up towards the sky. Finding nice length here. Bringing the hands to the mat. Walking yourself out. Coming to a lying down position. So maybe walking that right foot back a little more so we feel that length that's needed. Remembering the cues. Right leg is nice and centered with the ground. Hips are even. Chest is even. Length and opening in the throat. Remembering that 3-part breath. Feeling yourself relaxing a little deeper. Maybe feeling that left piriformis, that glute area, releasing. It's a bit tighter on this side than the other. So really enjoying that. Pressing into the floor, starting to bring that upper body up. Walking that back foot in. Sliding that front foot out. Finding table again. Nice. Right foot steps between the hands. So drawing the core, drawing that navel. Walk that left foot back to your length today. Engaging the legs, engaging the core. Hands float up towards the sky. Drawing the hips a little forward and down. Feeling that engagement it brings. Maybe you feel that left hip open up more as you do that. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bringing hands down. Inside, right foot. Right toes come out on a 45. Heel comes in line with your toes. And then toes back out on a 45. So we're in a twisted dragon here. Coming on the outer edge of your foot, so the inner edge lifts. Opening up towards the right. Maybe our right hand can reach. Sometimes, right, if it's accessible, we can bend the left knee, grab the ankle. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Or just gently push the inside of your right knee away as you come here in the twist. Nice gentle twist. Breathing in. Breathing out. If you were grabbing the foot, releasing it, bringing your gaze back through center, inching that foot back in, and lowering the elbows to your degree, right? To an even degree. We have that block, so you can rest the elbows on the block if needed. But if one elbow is higher than the other, bring the lower elbow up to that other elbow's height. Keep your gaze slightly ahead so you feel that opening and length in your throat. We're in dragon pose, so we want to be able to breathe fire here. So making that throat accessible so we can do it whenever we need to. Breathing in and breathing out. Pressing into hands, bringing the upper body up, walking that back leg in, And bringing that front leg back. Finding that table. Other side. Left foot steps between the hands. Walk that right leg back to your degree. Left elbow can always come on the thigh to help push yourself up. Engage your legs, your core. Float the hands off of the mat and circle them up towards the ceiling. Same thing here. Feel the lowering and the shift of your hips forward slightly. Maybe you can feel more length down that right quad into the hip flexor. Hands to the sky, nice and long. Lower hands to the ground, inside left foot. Left toes come out on a 45. Heel in line with the toes. Toes back out on a 45. Getting ready for that twist. Coming on the outer edge of that left foot so the inner edge is lifted. You can choose to stay here. Maybe a slight twist to the left. Pushing that inner left thigh away. Maybe you bend the right knee and grab that ankle. Just seeing where you want to be today and what's accessible. Every day is different, so our practice always brings up different expressions and thoughts. So it's in our best wisdom to listen and see what they're bringing. If your foot was lifted, releasing it and lowering it to the floor. Bringing your body back through center. Left hand inside, left foot, and bending your elbows to your degree. Maybe you can bend both equally. Right, if my right elbow's higher, I have to bring my left elbow to that height. You want to be even. Don't create any imbalances. Keep your hips in line with one another. Maybe you have to draw your left hip forward slightly. Keeping that gaze looking forward, that throat open and long. Remembering the 3-part breath. Inhale, feeling the rise of the belly, expansion of the ribs, expansion of the chest. Exhale, draw in the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Pressing into the floor, bringing the upper body up, walking that back knee in, front foot comes back into your table. Hips come to your heels, visit a child's pose, so hands have them in front of you, forehead on the mat, nice length. Work on drawing the low back and the hips backwards. Feel the opening of the low back there. Breathe wide here into the sides of the body. Lengthen yourself out to a lying down position on your belly. Elbows underneath shoulders, opening the chest, drawing those shoulder blades back. Shoulders away from ears. Nice sphinx pose. Breathing in. Remembering the 3-part breath. Breathing out. Feeling your hips evenly rooted into the floor. Maybe pressing in to the floor with our hands and floating the elbows, keeping the elbows drawn towards each other. So not opening them out to the sides. Nice seal pose, keeping your gaze looking up. Find that breath. If your elbows were lifted, lowering them, stacking one hand on top of the other, opening the elbows, and then coming down, resting a cheek or your forehead on the back of the hand. Right arm lengthens above the head. Left arm pushes into the mat to help roll you onto your back. We'll have knees bent, soles of feet on the floor. Give yourself a hug. Hands come on top of the kneecaps and circle your knees to the right, making, circles. Doing your best to keep the low back as connected as possible to the mat. Finding stillness, and then other way. Find stillness. Soles of feet come to the floor. And lengthen one leg at a time. Finding your Shavasana. Remembering that 3-part breath. Inhale, feeling the expansion of the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhaling, drawing in the chest, the ribs, the belly. Continuing that breath and scanning the body for any areas of tension that may be holding on still. And seeing what you can do to bring balance to those areas for the last bit of class. Maybe you feel yourself relaxing a little deeper. Bring in movement into the body. Move those toes, the fingers, the legs, the arms. Give yourself a nice reach with the arms above the head as you reach the feet away. Nice length in the spine. Draw knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. Let's go. Turn to the left and roll to that side. Then press yourself up to Sukhasana, easy pose, cross-legged position. Hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale love and gratitude to yourselves. Exhale love and gratitude to everyone else. Thank you all for this slow flow class. Namaste.